What would you do if your sister stole your boyfriend? I mean, that's like the ultimate betrayal, right? It sounds like something out of a dramatic movie, but trust me, it happens more often than you think. So let me introduce you to Maddie and her sister Chloe. They were the kind of sisters who did everything together. From sharing clothes to gossiping about crushes, they were basically inseparable. But one day, everything changed when Maddie started dating this guy named Jake. At first it was all sunshine and rainbows. They were so happy together and Chloe was all for it, giving her sister the thumbs up. But little did Maddie know, Chloe was harboring some not-so-great feelings underneath that supportive exterior. As the story unfolds, you'll see how quickly things can turn from sisterly love to a complete and utter disaster. Challenge. Alright, so picture this. Maddie and Jake have been dating for a few months, and everything seemed perfect. They were making plans for the future, and Maddie was totally head over heels. But then out of nowhere, Chloe starts acting a bit weird. At first, it was just subtle things like making snide comments about Jake, or showing up uninvited when Maddie and Jake were hanging out. Many brushed it off, thinking her sister was just being a typical sibling. But soon Chloe's weirdness escalated. One day Maddie walked into the living room to find Chloe and Jake laughing together, sharing jokes, and looking way too cozy for comfort. It was a gut punch. Maddie tried to ignore it. But deep down she could feel something was brewing, and it wasn't good. Then came the day that shattered Maddie's world. Chloe and Jake were officially dating and Maddie had no idea. She found out from a mutual friend who casually mentioned it during lunch. Can you imagine the shock? The betrayal. Maddie felt like she was living a nightmare. Her sister, the one person she thought she could always rely on, had gone behind her back and stolen her boyfriend. The heartbreak was real and Maddie was left feeling alone and confused. Now, let's dive deeper into the events leading up to this dramatic betrayal. Maddie and Chloe had always told each other everything, or so Maddie thought looking back. There were signs. Chloe had been asking Maddie a lot about Jake, wanting to know his likes and dislikes, which seemed harmless at first, but now Maddie realized it was more than curiosity. It felt like Chloe was studying him, plotting her move as Maddie and Jake's relationship blossomed. Chloe started distancing herself. She made excuses to not hang out with them, claiming she was busy with school, work, or friends, but many noticed that Chloe was always available to hang out with other friends. Many brushed it off as typical sister stuff, but now it felt like Chloe was planning something sinister. Then there were those late-night phone calls. Maddie would catch Chloe whispering to someone in her room, and when Maddie would ask who it was, Chloe would just smile and say, "Oh, just a friend," but deep down, Maddie felt that her sister was hiding something big. The tension in their relationship was palpable, but Maddie wanted to believe the best of Chloe. Fast forward to the fallout after the betrayal. Maddie was heartbroken and furious. She confronted Chloe, and it was a scene straight out of a soap opera. Maddie screamed, "How could you do this to me? You were supposed to have my back." Chloe, on the other hand, tried to justify her actions, claiming that she and Jake had a connection that Maddie never noticed. It was messy, it was raw, and it was all captured in that moment of confrontation. Now let's talk about the moment Maddie found out the truth. Picture this: she's scrolling through social media, trying to distract herself from the pain. And then she sees it. A post from Chloe with Jake, arms around each other, both grinning like they just won the lottery. Maddie's heart dropped. She felt like she'd been punched in the gut. All the emotions flooded in: anger, betrayal, sadness. She couldn't believe her eyes. In that moment, Maddie felt a mix of disbelief and fury. She threw her phone across the room and screamed. It was an emotional explosion. How could her sister do this? The confrontation that followed was intense. Many stormed into Chloe's room demanding answers. The tension was thick and the air was electric. They were both screaming, tears flowing, and it felt like the world was collapsing around them. Chloe's defense was weak, and Maddie couldn't understand how someone she trusted so much could betray her in such a deep way. After the dust settled, Maddie had to pick up the pieces of her shattered heart. In her relationship with her sister, it wasn't easy. The betrayal ran deep, and it took time for Maddie to process everything. She distanced herself from Chloe, needing space to heal. Eventually, though, they had some deep conversations about trust, loyalty, and the importance of family. It was a long road to recovery, but Maddie learned that not everyone you love will always have your best interest at heart. In the end, Maddie found strength in herself that she never knew she had. She focused on self-love and rebuilding her life, realizing she deserved better than what she had experienced. The bond with her sister would never be the same, but Maddie was determined to come out stronger. So what do you think? Have you ever experienced something similar with a sibling or a friend? How did you deal with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear more drama-filled stories like this, make sure to check out my other videos. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more juicy content.